Hey everyone, welcome to my channel. It's Julie from Living Large on Lifetime. If you're new and you like what you see, stick around, hit subscribe, and let's do some What I Ates together. Today, however, I'm going to do something different. I'm going to talk to you guys about freestyle, and I'm so excited because I've just been wanting to spill the beans for the longest time. I think everyone is going to absolutely love the new program, so it was very hard for me not to say that over and over. So first of all, in the United States, the program is called Freestyle, not Flex. It is Weight Watchers Freestyle. I was lucky enough to start the program about 2 months ahead of the official launch date. So I'm going to tell you guys, I'm going to go over the program first of all and then describe to you my experiences on Freestyle. One thing to remember is that I am at Lifetime, so I'm not actively losing weight, although I'm always trying to lose the last 5 pounds. I'm not in active weight loss mode, so that is definitely good to remember. But other than that, I am pretty much doing the freestyle program the way all of you guys are going to be doing the freestyle program this week. So let's dive right in. If you haven't been to your meeting yet, let me just give you a brief overview. You definitely want to go to your meeting though. You'll want to get all of the details from your leader. I am not a leader, so I probably don't explain it as well as they probably will. If you are online only, check out your app because there are a lot of little cards and information pieces within the app now that explain all the different details of the program. So definitely do some exploring within your app and read all of those little tidbits of information. So first of all, the biggest, most obvious thing is there are so many 0 points foods now, you guys. Oh my gosh. If you watch my channel for any length of time, and I've been doing this channel since December 28th of last year, you will notice that I love 0 points foods. The reason for that is because I also love wine, and I drink wine literally almost every day with my dinner. So I have always loved 0 points foods, because they help me keep room in my plan for some wine at dinner. So I always budget that way, and now there are hundreds of new 0 points foods. I am so excited. So first I want to tell you guys the best, healthiest way to work the plan is with 0 points foods and some pointed foods. Because if you stick with 0 points foods only, you're going to get burned out real fast. So some of the 0 points foods, I'm going to tell you, if you want the full list, you'll need to go to the website and find the list of the 0 points foods. But some of the most obvious and most basic are skinless turkey breast, skinless chicken breast. I've been eating a lot of chicken breast, if you haven't noticed, and I'm not sick of it. I love it. Also eggs. I can't tell you how excited I was to eat real eggs again, and I thought I would be sick of them, but I'm still craving poached eggs so much. Poached eggs, 0 smart points. Also beans, lentils, tofu, edamame, which I love. All fish and shellfish, so crab, lobster, scallops, salmon, tuna, all my favorites. And a surprise, which is non-fat Greek yogurt. I've also been having some of that. So those are kind of my go-to 0 points foods right now. There are a lot of other options, literally hundreds. Oh, and let's not forget fruits and vegetables. And the new vegetables that are now 0 points are corn and peas. Yes, I've been enjoying a little bit of corn now and then too. So I love corn. It's been so delicious. Hominy also, which is a corn product, is 0 points. So those are kind of my basic 0 points foods. Again, if you want the full list, you need to go to the website and check it out for yourself. So that's the most obvious change to the program. Also, you'll notice that your points have decreased by about 20%. That's because of all the 0 points foods. You're gonna be wanting to eat some of the 0 points foods and save your lower points for things that are not on that list. But again, a good, healthy, balanced diet is going to be a combination of both 0 points foods and pointed foods. And then the last major change is that you can now roll over points, which is awesome for someone like me who always splurges on the weekend. If you have leftover points, they will now roll over into your weeklies. Now this is only up to 4 points per day, so if you don't eat like 8 points, you're only going to get 4 rollovers. But still, you could bank a lot of points for a nice weekend meal. So that's another super awesome new change. So I love it. So there are a lot of other details, like you can turn off the rollovers if you want. You don't get rollovers the day before your weigh-in. What else? Any kind of processed proteins, any of the 0 point proteins that are processed, they're then not going to be 0 points. Some beans have sugar in them, canned beans have sugar. So there's a lot of little things that I've learned over the last couple months that you guys will find as you dive in. If you have any questions, feel free to give me a holler and I will answer what I can. Okay, so let's talk about how I did on Weight Watchers Freestyle. Like I said, I've been doing it for about 2 months, so that is 8 weeks. But remember, I'm a lifetime and I'm not always very careful with my points, to put it mildly. I really like to splurge on the weekends, and I also love my wine. Here's how I did though. This is just a quick rundown for you guys so you can kind of see where I was at, what I was doing, and how the program affected me. So the first week I didn't really work it at all. I was kind of just doing my same old thing. I went from 132 to 136, and I'm talking pounds here. The second week I worked it a little bit and I went down a little bit. I went from 136 to 135. On week 4, I really tried. I put some really good effort into the program. I also added a lot of beans, and I found that beans do not agree with me still. I actually tried adding them in a little at a time on week 2. I added them in a lot on week 3, and it kind of backfired for me. I made a huge pot of black bean soup, which I never did finish. So that's the one part of the program that I think a lot of people will love that I really cannot take advantage of, is the beans. So in that week, I worked the program pretty well. I added a lot of beans and my weight went very high. I went from 135 to 138. Kind of freaked me out a little bit. So then in week 5, I worked really hard again, but I totally dropped the beans. I made a few other minor changes which were not really even significant enough to remember or mention, but I know I for sure dropped all the beans. My weight went from 138 to 134. The next week, actually the next 2 weeks, I stayed about the same. I was working the program pretty well, splurging a little on the weekends, kind of my regular thing, and I stayed pretty much the same. I bounced around for a few weeks from 133 to 134, kind of back and forth in those few weeks. The last week, which was Thanksgiving week, actually the last couple weeks I've been trying really hard, but Thanksgiving week, this kind of baffled me. I tried really hard again on Thanksgiving week, and guys, I dropped almost 2 pounds in 1 week. I went from 134 to 132. Thanksgiving week, working Weight Watchers Freestyle. So my weight is actually down to where I started, but I've had a lot of very full, tons of food events. I always have work food events. I'm always going to Disneyland and eating. My weekends are always crazy. So I've had a lot of challenges, but what I do notice, number one, is once I dropped the beans and I went from 138 to 134 very quickly. And then Thanksgiving weekend, I enjoyed myself. I tried to stay within the plan, but I was still over on points, and I still dropped 2 pounds that week as well. So what this tells me is that if I'm on program, if I'm working the plan, it's going to work, which is absolutely huge for me, and I'm super excited because I am working on the last few pounds, which right now is the last 2.8 or 2.6 pounds. So I'm looking to hit 130. So I really feel that once I really work the program, I'm going to drop. I am working the program to the best of my ability during December, even with all these crazy food events coming and going. I'm still trying really hard to work the program. It's very challenging, but I feel very confident that with this new program, I can totally hit 130 finally. So I'm super excited about that. So overall, here's what I think about the program overall. Number one, first and foremost, this was very obvious from the get-go. This program is pushing me towards making better food choices, and I am making way better food choices. My lean protein is up. I feel like I have much more nutrition. I know I was eating a lot of 0 points foods previously, and previously I was limited to very small amounts of protein or a lot of fruits and vegetables. Now I can get a lot of great nutrition in with all of the protein and still be at 0 points. So I feel like I'm making way better food choices and getting way better nutrition overall. Number two, I am experiencing way more flexibility, especially when I eat out, which I do a lot. If you go to any basic restaurant, you're going to find lots of 0 points proteins, vegetables, fruits, eggs. It's been super easy and actually fun to experience all of the new foods. I am not sick of them yet. I am still enjoying and loving them. So I am finding a lot more flexibility, and it's also refreshing to have some different meals and dinners and just a lot of different foods in my diet. So there's a lot more flexibility and a lot more variety. Number three, the portion sizes. I've found that I do need to watch portion sizes a little bit. I have to tell you that the reason Weight Watchers chose these particular food items to make 0 points is because they are less likely to be overeaten. That's what they say. However, I know I can overeat anything. But honestly, when you sit down with a giant tub of grilled chicken breast or even a bunch of eggs, there's still only so much you can eat. So there are days when I do overeat these items, just as I overate grapes, or sometimes I'll overeat apples or a big thing of fruit from the Mexican fruit stand. There is still that potential and that possibility. So you do still need to watch your portion sizes. Not necessarily that you need to weigh and measure them, but just kind of check, are you starting to feel full? Do you feel satisfied? Do you need more? Could you put it away and save it for later? Just kind of check yourself and make sure you're not purposely overeating these foods. Everyone does overeat sometimes, but I know there's been 2 or 3 circumstances, maybe more, where if I am grazing and I just want to do some mindless eating, which then it's not very mindless if you're actually thinking about it and making good choices. But I find when I want to just do some grazing and eat just to eat, there have been several instances where I am turning to eggs or yogurt or chicken or fish even, just to satisfy my urge to eat. So that, even though we shouldn't be overeating at all, everyone overeats at some point, and it's far better to overeat on these items than, say, English toffee or chocolate or pasta. So I'm really happy that in my right moments, when I'm in my right mind and I can make better choices and still am feeling grazy and snacky, I have been able to turn to some of these 0 points foods, which are far better for me. So that's made me very happy. The one thing I do notice, two things I want to mention to you guys. Number one, I miss red meat. I am a points hoarder, so I'm very, very careful on points. With Smart Points, I ate red meat often when I would go out to eat, because I would have a baked potato for 5 points and a steak for 5 points. That's a 10-point meal. Now that I am on Freestyle and I have only 23 points, I gotta work that wine in. So wine takes up a good deal of my points, and I haven't really found that I'm working in the red meat as well. In fact, I don't think I've had steak for quite a while. If I have, it's been a bite of Eddie's. So I need to find a way to work that in occasionally. That was literally my restaurant go-to meal, and now I haven't had it for a while. So I'm starting to crave some nice, rare red meat, some good steak. So that is my one thing that I miss. Honestly, if that's the only thing I miss from the old program, that's really good, you guys. And really, I just need to find a way to work it into my plan. As with all things Weight Watchers, you can have anything. You just need to find a way to work it into your plan. The other thing I wanted to tell you guys is that I have literally been double tracking for 2 months. And that is mostly because of this channel. Because obviously I was bound by confidentiality and was not able to tell you guys anything about the new program. So I was literally tracking smart points values for the old program, for the channel, and then tracking the new program for myself. How did this work out? Number one, it was a lot of extra work. But number two, here's something really valuable. I found that every single day I was at my 23 points, I was either at or below, and most times below my 30 points. So I want to tell you guys that because I want you to not be afraid to eat these 0 points foods and not track them. Unless you're eating wildly crazy amounts, you're not going over the 30 points. So if you're worried about the transition between smart points and freestyle, it's gonna work. I'm telling you, it's gonna work. I was worried that I would be eating these 0 points foods and that the overall day would be more than 30 points and that I would be gaining. It's not happened. It has not happened. The only reason I've gained on Weight Watchers Freestyle is number one, when I added the beans, because beans don't personally agree with me, and number two, when I go over my points, which is quite obvious. If you go over your points, you're going to gain. So I just wanted to tell you guys that because I don't want you to be afraid that you're going to be gaining from eating all these wonderful 0 points foods. It works, you guys. Weight Watchers is science. They've relied on the science behind these particular foods. The behavior even, it's behavioral science and it's physical science, and it just works. So how am I going to handle tracking? Number one, I'm not going to be double tracking anymore, and that is such a relief. I'm going to be tracking only Weight Watchers Freestyle points. But Weight Watchers encourages you now not to track. Actually, I wouldn't say they encourage, but they give you the option of either tracking or not tracking your 0 points foods. With Smart Points, I still tracked fruits and vegetables because I wanted to have some sort of accounting of what I've eaten and how much. So with Weight Watchers Freestyle, I have continued to track 0 points foods, meaning eggs and protein and all the new stuff, because I wanted to compare points with Smart Points. Now that I don't have to do that, am I going to track 0 points foods? The answer is yes. Number one, I'm nervous to let go of that because I've always tracked it, and I feel like if I all of a sudden don't track half my day, and really 0 points foods to me in my plan are at least half my day. If I don't track half my day, is it all gonna like be crazy and up in the air and I'm suddenly way over points and I'm gaining weight? I don't know. Probably not. But I feel like I need the structure right now of tracking those 0 points items. However, I'm also doing it because I am paper tracking and I want to be able to look back on this period when I'm trying really hard to lose those 5 pounds. I want to look back on this period and see exactly what I did. So that is the second reason, I guess, why I'm still tracking the 0 points foods. I'm tracking because I'm a little nervous to let go of that security and those boundaries. And number two, I'm tracking them because I want to know what I did during this last few months of 2017 to get the last 5 pounds off. That means either in January or when I hit 130 pounds, I'm going to let go of tracking 0 points foods. And that's really scary for me. So that's where I'm at with tracking the 0 points. I'd love to hear what you guys think about the new program. How excited are you to start it? Are you nervous? Do you have questions? Are you going to track the 0 points foods? any questions you guys have, let me know down below. I will answer to the best of my ability. But yeah, this is me on the new Weight Watchers Freestyle, and I love it. I have loved it from the moment I heard about it. You should have seen my jaw drop to the ground. I was like, are you kidding me? I loved it from the first second I heard about it. I love it now. It's been super easy to work into my lifestyle, and I think everyone is gonna love it. I hope you guys see some really great results. Please post down below what you think. If you're nervous, if you have any questions, I'll see you guys in the next video. Thanks for watching. Bye.